Hey there, guys. It's me again, the Healthy Life Coach 702, just reaching out and going to make this video about relationships. Hope everyone's doing okay, especially with these crazy weather spurts and all. But hey, it just makes us really remember who's in control, and God is in control. And on the other spectrum, we need to take better care of our planet to avoid these drastic changes. But that's a whole nother video. And again, that's my opinion. All right, so as far as these relationships, as we all know, we're dealing in a time where it seems like narcissists are coming out of the woodwork. But as many of us can tend to agree, we believe that Satan is the king of narcissism. So with that in mind, narcissists have been around from the beginning of time. So when it comes to these relationships, be very mindful. And one way to kind of, have some insight that you may be dealing with a narcissist is, or to avoid, possibly getting deeply involved with the narcissist, is to really take your time. Really take your time and first examine yourself. Work on self. Make sure you're in a healthy space, mentally, physically, emotionally. I'm not saying perfection because none of us are perfect. However, be mindful of some of the comments from people that you truly care about and people that truly care about you and have your best interests. And be mindful of the feedback and comments. And, just as, a normal person, just try and, be a better person daily. As it relates to the relationships, you want to be well-rounded. And with that in mind, being open, not just everything's your way or the highway, or just because someone may do things a little differently. Get to really know people. And again, that goes back to slowing down, really being friends, taking the time to get to know the family, the friends, and the associates, and so on. And that really kind of gives you, a good idea of the type of person that you are dealing with. And as it relates to cheating, that usually can go hand in hand with narcissism. But some people cheat because they feel they can. Some people don't care. Some people, they're not satisfied with, the person that they're with. They feel like if they can get away with it, why not? Or some people, and especially in the men species, they're just weak. It's there, they're going to do it. And a lot of times, some men don't have as much empathy as women. We really love, we really put our hearts into things, and sometimes we go a little too far too fast. So if we slow down, we as women, and although your heart or mind may be saying, oh, I want to do all this and that for this person, slow it down. See what their response is. If you're in a relationship with, or talking to him, watch his pace. If he's at a 10, don't go past 7 or 8. Let him lead the way, because you don't want to be way down the freeway, across the border in another state, and they're still at the beginning of the state that you've just entered. And what I'm trying to say is, a lot of times women, we get a little excited. We have in our mind, because we're planners, our brains are always going, and we have this checklist in our head, but not everybody fits on that checklist. And we can be more mindful if we slow down and take our time. So another hot topic, men in jail. Not just the men in jail, but mostly what I get the comments or the questions about is dealing with men in jail. And that, in my mind, it goes hand in hand with these narcissists. Not every man in jail is a narcissist, number one. But you have, in my mind, that's like a lab for a narcissist. It really breeds that mentality, me, and mine. And a lot of times people may end up in those situations because usually issues with narcissism, it starts in childhood. So if this child was overly doted on and think that the world revolves around them, that doesn't stop, it just compounds. Or it could be the other way, where the child was abused, and really felt like, I really just got to protect me and put myself in a bubble and just be focused on me. Nevertheless, if these people do not openly or willingly get treatment or look into counseling, therapy, and so on for these situations, you will find they just get worse with time. And a lot of us women, myself included, think, oh, you can work with this person. Oh, they're just having a bad day. No, it gets worse. It's just like you, picking up a snake that you run across, and then you get mad because that snake bites you. Well, that's the same thing when you're dealing with a narcissist. They will respond from all the trauma they have inside. They don't have any empathy. They don't have the capacity to experience or show empathy, because it's just not within them. So with that being said, when it goes to the cheating, I wouldn't say allow someone to cheat on you once, but if they cheat once, I don't really think it's up for discussion if there's a second, third, fourth time, because what you were sending to your subconscious is that, you will just about tolerate anything. And I know that can't be true. But a lot of us, we as women want to just, really work it out. But if that person decides they want to continue to cheat or cheat the first time, obviously they are not as committed. Obviously they are not, putting the relationship first, and so on. So you keep in mind, someone cheats once, you may want to, call that a wrap. But, of course, to each his own, your choice and so on. But just keep in mind, if you keep allowing a person to come back after cheating, they will begin to believe, oh, I can do anything because she's not going nowhere. She'll allow this. And getting back to these men in jail, I know a lot of times, women will, have pen pals that will turn into more, or it may be someone you were involved with and they ended up going to jail. Keep in mind, in this time of narcissism, in this time of people getting away from the word, the Bible, or whatever your belief is, if they don't have something that they practice and keep them grounded, also be aware of those fakers, those that can quote you a scripture, backwards and front. I can't quote you any of them, but I do read it. But what I'm trying to say there is, be mindful of that, because you have those, especially, you think, oh, well, where's a great place to go meet a man? Oh, I'm going to go to church, or, whatever your spiritual beliefs are and where you may congregate. Believe it, a lot of those are there lurking, just like you're getting these scam calls, you're getting these scam texts, and so on and so on. You got scammers that will, roll up in the church and be ever so holy, but they have an ulterior motive. So again, if we go back to slowing down, really talking to them and being, when you're dating, just think of dating as you're trying to get the details, you're trying to get the data. So take your time and really get to know these people. So getting back to the men in jail, many of them have much time, as I say, I think of it as a narcissist lab, to really, perfect their craft, to really, work on how they're going to scam a person, to really work on, how they're going to scam multiple people. And with that in mind, you really want to be mindful of that, because then you get into that phase of, if you're going to be intimate with this person after incarceration, especially extended incarceration. But you also have to look back. Men are weaker than women. So, and they are driven by sex. So you have those that are what they call gay for the stay. You have those that, are on the down low. They will, profess that they really dislike homosexuality and homosexuals and so on. And, I'm not trying to dictate anybody's sexual preference. That is not for me to judge or give comment on, only if you were asking for it. But if you're heterosexual and that's the lifestyle that you lead, and you're dealing with someone that's incarcerated, be mindful of those that are gay for the stay. And then if they're gay for the stay, you start getting into that arena of multiple partners. You start getting into that arena of they're not supposed to be having sex there. And number two, if they are how are they protecting themselves? I hear about saran wrap. I hear about all these wild things. But again, my main concern with dealing with people that are incarcerated, I would say there's a low percentage of those that truly want to change. And so really be mindful of that, especially if you're in an abusive relationship and this person's incarcerated. Well, what makes you think it's going to get better? It's not. I'm here to tell you it's not. It can only get worse. And especially those that are dictating your time, dictating your money. And, they know your payday before you know it, because they're texting, or they are, sending letters, postcards, or having other people contact you. Oh, they need this, they need that. In my opinion, you need to stay out of jail. But that's a whole nother topic. We all have, done things, and, there are consequences. So I'm not here to judge, on that. But at the same time, for lack of better words, don't be pimped by somebody that's, behind the walls. Because for them, many of them, it's a game. It really is a game, and it's nothing more. And you will be the one that will be shortening your budget, going without things for yourself, possibly your kids, possibly putting off car repairs, so on and so on. Don't do that. Invest in yourself. It's okay to be alone. It's okay to be single. You will find that you may experience more peace than being in a relationship. Again, my opinion. But, whatever works for you. But as I mentioned, keep those things in mind. Take it slow. Get to know the family. Be mindful when you're dealing with people that are incarcerated. And one of the other things, those of us that are raising young men, we know that there is an issue as far as, there's an increase in divorce and single parent homes and so on. But take the time out, especially women. Invest the same amount of time that you would invest in your girls. Invest that time in the boys, because they also need that guidance, and they may not have that male figure in their life, but you can model how, by the way you demand respect and how you speak to him, your male child, that will, make him a healthier partner when he grows up, and know how to treat women, and know what he should accept and not accept. But if you leave it to, and don't get me wrong, I like rap music too, but if you leave it to this rap music and hip hop, they'll have your son, have their brains really twisted, or the barbershop talk where, some of the phrases that are made about women, and basically women aren't, anything. And you don't want that. You want to take that time out, and you want to model healthy relationships. You want to model interacting with healthy men, and so they can see what a healthy relationship looks like. And most of all, don't forget to hug your children, and tell them you love them, because a lot of times that lack of affection, that lack of, positive reinforcement from home, they will go looking in the wrong places, and could be setting themselves up for, danger, being emotionally, physically hurt, and so on. So on that note, that's pretty much, I believe, what I have to say on relationships. These were a bunch of questions that I had received and comments this week. So lastly, love people the way they want to be loved. Some people are not used to being hugged. So if you come from a family of huggers, be mindful, be patient with that person, and discuss, the ways that they want to be loved. On that note, you guys be blessed, be a blessing to others, and it's been great checking in with you. Remember, if this is something you resonate with, or you think somebody else would resonate with, please be sure to share, and please be sure to like. And if you can, please post on your other platforms, and so I can get the message out. And on that note, I will be in touch very soon. And please have a good rest of your weekend. And bye for now.